If you're like me, you've probably placed a bet on Polymarket this year. The World Cup winner, the next Fed decision, who wins the midterms. It's a huge platform, but most people trading there have no idea what it runs on. Well, the Poly part in Polymarket actually comes from Polygon. Remember, their token exploded in 2021, but almost nobody cares about it now. While the price keeps hitting new lows, Polygon has been quietly processing hundreds of billions in stablecoin transactions, buying companies and positioning itself to become infrastructure for global payments. Polygon is the foundation of the biggest prediction market in the world. So has everyone gone blind? Given up right before the next chapter? Let's break it all down, guys, and see exactly how many POL tokens you would need to retire as a millionaire. You might as well open a bet on Polymarket while you're at it. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Back in 2017, Ethereum was drowning in its own success. CryptoKitties alone had clocked the network so badly that simple transactions took hours and cost a fortune. Ethereum was getting too slow and crowded, so its co-founder Vitalik Buterin wrote a blueprint called Plasma, where he explained how to fix it with a layer 2 solution. 3 engineers in Mumbai, Jayanti Kanani, Sandeep Nailwal, and Anurag Arjun, read his plan and decided to build it. They were later joined by Mihailo Bielich, and together they turned that idea into Matic Network. Their token launched on Binance Launchpad in April 2019, raising $5 million in an IEO priced at a fraction of a cent. Their mainnet went live in March 2020, and in February 2021, the project rebranded to Polygon right as the market exploded. What followed was one of the fastest climbs to mainstream relevance crypto had ever seen. Mark Cuban invested in May 2021. Disney brought Polygon into its startup accelerator. Starbucks built its Odyssey loyalty program on it. Reddit users minted over 3 million wallets for free NFT avatars. Meta let Instagram and Facebook users to get their payouts through it. DraftKings signed on as an actual network validator. It was wild, guys. Matic rode that wave to an all-time high of $2.92 in December 2021. Fast forward a little bit, and in September 2024, a full token migration from Matic to POL took place. Along the way, Polygon also built a ZK EVM, which was a separate Ethereum compatible chain, but it never really took off, so they shut it off. This technology just didn't prove good enough. Today, under CEO Mark Boyron, the intentions are blunt. As Chief Product Officer John Egan put it at ETHConf, the killer use case for crypto was money. And if you were to spend money on Polygon today, it trades around 8 cents with a market cap of just $840 million. But these are just surface level numbers, and if you want to actually understand Polygon, you would have to go deeper. So let's start together with the tokenomics, and right off the bat, POL has no hard supply cap. Circulating supply sits around 10.7 billion tokens, but what makes this interesting is the burn mechanism. Since January 2022, that's added up to 114 million POL burned, worth about $10.5 million at today's price, or nearly 1.1% of total supply gone for good. It's a real deflationary pressure, but it's slow and nowhere near enough to cancel out the fact that the new POL can keep getting created forever. Something else that's unusual, POL also doubles as the token for AG layer, Polygon's cross-chain settlement layer, which opens up more fee revenue as that expands. The catch, however, is that none of this is locked in by hard code, the way that Bitcoin, for example's cap is. It's entirely dependent on transaction volume staying high, but if it slows down, the deflation story slows down with it too. Now, here's where Polygon's pivot gets real. That's the network performance and the ecosystem growth. In May 2026, the network processed over $79 billion in stablecoin volume across 198 million transactions, which led every blockchain in transaction count and, by its own numbers, passing both Solana and BNB chain. Cumulative stablecoin transfers on Polygon have now crossed $2.6 trillion, which is more than, I'll tell you, every physical dollar bill and coin in the US. Visa added Polygon to its stablecoin settlement pilot, already running at a 7 billion annualized rate. Meta rolled out USDC creator payouts on the network recently, with Polygon named as one of 2 supported blockchain networks. Mastercard brought Polygon into its new agent payment protocol, covering both AI agent-to-agent payments and direct stablecoin settlement for merchants even on weekends and holidays. Behind all of this sits a $250 million bet that Polygon acquired Sequence, which is a wallet and cross-chain infrastructure company that's worked with Google and Ubisoft, and they closed that deal in January. It also agreed to acquire Coinme, which holds money transmitter licenses across 48 US states and runs over 50,000 retail cash to crypto locations. That deal is now in its final stages of closing. Together with AgLayer, which already connects 9 chains into one unified settlement layer, and Trails, Sequence's routing engine that's processed over 10 million cross-chain transactions, Polygon is assembling what it calls the open money stack. It connects fiat access, wallets, compliance, routing, and settlement into one single integration, which is designed to plug into existing systems and move money in seconds. Add in the fact that Polygon also captured over 61% of monthly DEX volume in 2025, and you start to see the chain positioning itself as actual financial infrastructure. We are approaching the exciting Millionaire math, but before we get there, let's address the honest risks. Know what could go wrong first, and then plot on what could go right later. First risk is the disconnect. Here's what I'm talking about, guys. Despite record stablecoin volume, POL has kept sliding to new lows. Network usage and token price have simply stopped moving together, and to be honest, there's no guarantee that this changes ever again. Second, the supply cap doesn't actually exist. The current deflationary story only holds up if transaction volume stays high, and if activity cools, emissions can outpace burn again, and that is no good. Third up, we've got the integration risk. Polygon Labs has cut staff twice in 2026 while restructuring around the Coinme and Sequence acquisitions, and the Coinme deal still depends on regulatory approval closing cleanly. Lastly, among the contentious points surrounding Polygon, we gotta talk competition. Solana, BNB, Arbitrum, Base, they're all fighting for the exact same stablecoin settlement narrative, and monthly volume leadership has already flipped between chains several times before. So keep these in mind before deciding to marry Polygon all of a sudden. But if you're considering marriage, you might also want to look at Polygon's past dating history. Or, the price history, rather. So here it is, briefly. Matic launched on Binance in April 2019 at a fraction of a cent, climbed through 2020 and 2021, of course, and as I mentioned earlier, it hit its all-time high of $2.92 in December of 2021. From there, it was a long bleed through the bear market, the 2024 rebrand to POL, and a new cycle low of 6.8 cents in early July this year. Today, it trades around 8 cents, give or take a few percentage points, and we'll use this 8 cents as our reference price as we are finally coming to the Millionaire math. The first scenario that will see your portfolio grow to $1 million with Polygon is actually the least optimistic. It's the bear case. 30 cents per token for a return of nearly 4x. Expect a market cap around 3.2 billion, which is roughly where mid-tier L1s sit today. You would need just over 3.3 million POL tokens, costing about $260,000 today. Next up is the base case scenario, where we double the stakes for 60 cents per POL token, which automatically translates to 7.5x gain. The market cap goes to nearly $6.4 billion, and frankly, that's plausible if the open money stack actually ships and stablecoin volume keeps compounding. In this base case, the required number of tokens is roughly 1.6 million, which will come at the cost of a bit over $130,000 today. These two scenarios were fine, but here's my favorite Millionaire scenario, and that of course is the bull case. $2.90 $2.92 to be exact. It's a very specific number, but it makes sense when I tell you that the price simply reclaims that all-time high. A staggering 36.5x from here to boost the market cap to around $31 billion. To get you to the $1 million, it will take 342,000 POL tokens for about 27k today. Nice and easy like that. But even the least optimistic of these scenarios will remain a mirage if Polygon does not get the proper catalysts. And here are 4 things that are super important in that regard. The Coinme close, which would hand Polygon direct compliant fiat rails across 48 states and over 50,000 retail locations overnight. Second, a deeper integration with Visa and Mastercard could turn pilot programs into default settlement rails for real merchants. Number 3, Ag layer that expands past 9 chains and is capable of unifying liquidity the way that Polygon claims the whole industry eventually needs. And finally, an external one, the agent economy itself. The argument of Polygon's chief product officer, Egan, is that agent-to-agent payment volume will exceed human transaction volume within just 5 years, and that kind of volume needs exactly the type of high-speed settlement network that Polygon has spent a decade building. So let's recap. As we said, Polygon spent a decade building scaling infrastructure that nobody outside crypto ever noticed. And now it's betting 250 million that the real opportunity was never DeFi or NFTs. It was becoming the plumbing for how money actually moves. The stablecoin numbers are real, but the price hasn't caught up, which might just be the right opportunity for us guys. But that's only if that is the setup for the next leg, instead of a proof that usage and price just don't move together anymore. It's either or. With that being said, I'd be interested to read your comments on what you think of Polygon and even your price targets, so drop them down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and subscribe to the airdrops.com channel. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.